So in this video, what I wanted to explore is communication. And the reason that I want to explore it is because I'm realizing that, like, looking back at my life, I did not utilize consistent, clear, and open communication, but I did not because of very specific reasons, and I will not get into those reasons or the logistics of those reasons, but this video is all about the importance of communication. Foundationally to every single relationship, successfully, right? Communication is absolutely crucial. And the amount of times that people do not utilize communication, and as a result, um, do not have healthy, happy, successful relationships, it's wild to me. But it's also interesting because, coming from my own standpoint, let me say this. When you grow up and you learn a belief that your wants and needs don't matter, you're not going to communicate them, right? The only way that you can tell somebody, tell, the only way that you can tell somebody what it is that you want and what it is that you need is through communication. People are not mind readers. And it's very interesting also because I have actually grown up with the belief that people that I'm in a relationship with should just know. Now, let me just say this real quick. In terms of the belief of people that they should just know, right? It's not that I actually like consciously believe everyone should know exactly what it is that I need and what I want and what I'm feeling, what my thoughts are, everything. No, it's not that. It's more so, it's like when you don't learn consistent, clear, and open communication, what happens is that, from my own experiences, you kind of just go on autopilot. So it's like you kind of just expect people to know, right? It's not like you're going into every situation and being like, you're just going to know everything that's going on in my mental and emotional universe. No, it's not that. What I've experienced is that it's more so like, all right, well, my wants and needs don't matter, so why should I even communicate any of that? And I'm going to have this unconscious or subconscious belief that everyone already knows, right? They already know that my wants and needs don't matter, so they're really not even going to cater to that. So there's a lot of comfort inside of all that stuff. But the communication aspect of this that's so interesting to me is that communication is available to everyone. Like if you learn a language, if you learn how to speak, which I can imagine a majority of people have, you have the capacity to communicate the words that you have learned, right? Or not capacity. You have the ability to communicate the words that you have learned. And I get it. People have their own stuff and everything, but it's so interesting that one of the biggest downfalls in relationships is a lack of communication. That's what it is. If you want your relationships to get better, utilize consistent, clear, and open communication, right? And I've also been on the opposite end of the spectrum, right? Like, oh, I just don't want to have to worry about it. But what's interesting is that when you don't worry about it, when you don't care, things do not get better. It does not take a whole lot to communicate things to people. But of course, people have been traumatized by different things, and that trauma actually kind of like locks them inside of a prison and holds them with limiting beliefs regarding communication. Like, you know, it's not impossible for anyone to be like, I want this, I want that, I feel this, I feel that, I think this, I think that. But the amount of people that actually utilize that, it's not impossible, anybody can do it, but the amount of people that actually utilize that is very small because, well, I'm not going to put numbers out there because I don't know the actuality of it, but I do know that there are a lot of people out there that did not learn consistent, clear, and open communication, and therefore do not utilize it. You're not going to learn something that you're not going to utilize something that you did not learn, right? And not only that, but you're also going to, I would argue, utilize the opposite, right? You're going to do behaviors in terms of communication or lack thereof that are just unhealthy and unproductive for, a healthy relationship and a healthy, happy, and successful relationship. So it's just very interesting how communication can change everything. Consistent, clear, and open communication. And even looking at my own life, this is something that I'm looking to implement now moving forward. it's important for me to recognize that, like, okay, let's look at the past, right? Okay, the past 5 to 10 years, past, I don't know, 5, 10, 15 years, right? Looking at the past and everything, your life looked this way. Why? Okay, yeah, you did not utilize consistent, clear, and open communication. Okay. Now, what would happen if you did utilize that? There'd be more trust, there'd be more safety, there'd be more security, there'd be more understanding, there'd be more connection, right? Like, it's just like the rewards are just like it outweighs everything. It's kind of like, like, look at meditation, right? People don't want to do meditation because they're afraid of sitting with themselves or for other reasons, right? But what are the rewards of meditation? A lot of people don't want to do meditation also because they're like, well, what's it going to add to my life? It's actually not about what it adds to your life. It's about what it takes away from your life. It takes away the anxiety. It takes away the depression. It takes away so many of the negative things that people live with because this, that, and the other happen in their life. But looking specifically at communication, if you utilize consistent, clear, and open communication, your life will get better. It just will. Because your communication with yourself gets better, your communication with the people in your life, your relationships gets better. It's so interesting, and it's so cool to think about it. Like, one of the and that's not the only thing that's interesting about this. Probably the most turbulence in any relationship is a lack of communication. So, if you inform somebody on behalf of something and you know you did, right? Or you know that you do that consistently and you actually consistently follow through with that, you win. Like, you win. Telling people what you're doing, telling people, like, if they, what you're thinking, what you're feeling, because it all matters, even though you don't believe that it does, because maybe a parent or a guardian told you that your shit just does not matter, which is not true. They're just telling you about how they feel about themselves. Um, it's just so interesting. The utilization of a foundational aspect, or I would argue the foundational aspect of social interactions, of human connections, can transform your life. It's not just can transform your life. If you don't have it, your life is very hard. It's just been shown. So, yeah, communicate. That's how that it works. And it only gets better from there.